Hello, hello, hello. I wasn't sure how that intro was going to go, so sorry it was kind of long. We may shorten that one, but it was an old, new intro that I just did. So, welcome on in, everybody. Welcome in. If this is your first time here, hello, hi, and welcome. If it's not, welcome back for yet another upload or another video, another live. Michelle, see, she knows. Everyone hit that like button. That's what's up. You got the right idea. I was just getting ready to say that. Read my mind. Oh, I love that your little ice skate picture. I've never been ice skating. Don't think that would go well. But I hope everybody's doing good. I saw we had some people in here. Aries has 70-mile-per-hour winds. Oh, on Long Island. Oh my lordy! Don't get blown over. It's really windy here. It must be something with the East Coast. I'm like more Midwest, but Ohio. But yeah, it's been really windy. Mystic Werewolf, that was a long 10-second countdown. I know. My other one, I think, is like 5 seconds or 10. And it's like the same. It's a little bit shorter, but it's not a second. I know. I'm so bad about that. I was trying to make my my intro just a little bit longer because I swear every time I go to hit that live button, I have to like blow my nose or have to get up and grab something. And I was like, just make it a little longer. That way you have a little bit more time. But I think that's a little too long. So we may go back to the old ways. Janice has been terrible here in the Southeast. Wow. Yeah. It's like, I don't know. Very windy, very rainy, very crappy weather. I went out in it for a little bit and I was like, I'm cool. I didn't even want to go out. We got to get them all green. I'm going to put in my car in the garage. That's funny. I'm just reading the chat. So anyway, sorry guys, I got lost. I'll get lost in the chat if I do that. So anyways, hi, hello, welcome. I'm Tanya or TitaniumBuilt if I didn't say my name already. If you guys don't mind just hitting the like button, that'll really help the channel and it really helps me. And just it's fun to do. If you enjoy the content or appreciate the content, I hope you guys will consider subscribing to the channel. We do talk true crime here daily. So if you're watching on replay, hashtag replay. We'd love to know who's watching when we're not live. Wow, everyone is getting blown away. Well, everybody be careful out there because it's like really bad. I don't know if it's going to freeze where you guys are, but it's raining here. And then if it, gets cold enough, it's going to freeze. Happy Cappy said, not too bad in Kentucky, just rainy, touch of snow. It's just rainy here. Yeah, Janet Banana caught alive. I love that. My front yard looks like a damn lake right now, man. I can get lost in your guys' chat. I swear I could. But we are going to talk about Idaho 4 tonight. We are going to talk about Gypsy Rose this week. I want to talk about her so bad. I've been listening to some stuff today and I was like, ooh, but I want to put together like an actual like full show with her. Like, so for people that don't know like the background story, I want to get like all of that down, like a timeline and stuff. So I'm going to work on that tomorrow and maybe we'll do that tomorrow night. We should be able to. I don't see why not. But if you would like to join our channel membership, I'm going to put the link in the chat. I'll do it throughout the live. If you would like to join our membership, we'd love to have you. And let me see if I can grab it really quick. Also, I do have a second channel and I will be going live on that channel shortly. I'm thinking like sometime this week. So if you guys would like to go over there and hang out, have some laughs, it's going to be a little bit more laid back, a little more chill. I'll put the link in the chat. So anyways, so tonight we're going to watch. So last time, actually, let me go back to the last time because we've been doing this. This is part 4. So we've been following Nancy Grace's journey through the Idaho 4 case, kind of like through the lens of Nancy Grace. She started covering the case, I believe it was on the 16th of November. And then she's just been following it ever since. We've watched all of her videos, I believe, on Fox Nation, on YouTube, wherever that woman's been, we've been with her. But I wanted to go back through it and just kind of like focus on just them and not like, when we were watching the Nancy Grace before, we had other things going on. So this time it's kind of just quiet in the Idaho 4 case a little bit. So I thought it'd be a good time to go back, review and see if we hear anything we didn't hear before or just see like where they were, in the investigation compared to where like Nancy and her crew were kind of like speculating on things because they got a lot of stuff right. I thought it was pretty cool. But there were some new documents that came out, so we'll read through those. But the last time that we did do our live, the last episode was on Fox and it aired on 12/6. This one airs on 12/8. So tonight we're going to review that. It has to do with the Hyundai Elantra. that the cops, the investigators were looking for. And I know that there's been a lot of stuff going on about the Hyundai Elantra lately. So perfect timing. But I'm rewatching all of these with you. So I look forward to hearing about the car. I want to know like what they were talking about back then. Because, there's been so much speculation, so much going on where like it's hard to remember, where they were at back then. I feel like so it'll be interesting. Also, I have a really good live scheduled for you guys too with Idaho. I've had these tabs open forever, but we're going to go over the crime scene and why juries, like to visit them and go like more in depth with that. So it's going to be really good. Let me go ahead and pull this up. I'm going to go ahead and start on these lovely documents that we got in. Before we watch the Nancy Grace episode, we'll go through and we'll read these documents that they just came out with. Now, this isn't the one I want to share, but we'll go over here. We haven't read any documents for like the last week. So there's just a few that came out. Nothing groundbreaking, I don't believe. I mean, just something to talk about though. So we're going to talk about it. There are things to talk about. I know that there are some people that are up in arms right now with some of these documents. And then we'll see how we feel about it. Thanks, Doodlebug. So tap that like as you come in so you don't forget. I love that. Donald, I don't know. That I don't know. I don't think it's related to anything else personally, but you never know. Oh yeah. Idaho case is going to be in the history books for sure. It's going to go down with like OJ, Casey Anthony, Letitia Stout. I feel like she should be in there. Like there's a few people that are, that are going to be in there like that are within our lifetime. I believe so. I believe that too. Let me get little Doodlebug's cat off there so you can read the document. So cute. So the judge said back in November, I believe it was back in November, that they weren't going to be they were going to be like live streaming the court proceedings themselves through YouTube, through judge's YouTube page. I know. It's weird. It's so weird to me. But so of course they're not going to allow cameras inside of the courtroom because they are live streaming it because they don't trust other people to not zoom in on Brian Kohberger or AKA his fly, which no one's looking at his crotch. So when I read this the other day, I really laughed. I laughed for like a while. I don't know why I thought it was so funny. But I did. I laughed just because it's like, you read every document and you kind of missed this one, maybe missed reading this one. So it just says that this, it says request for approval or judge's proposed order. So we've seen these before. They are the documents that they send in if they want to, so that they're allowed to come in and, live stream the court proceedings. Now, normally, John Judge would say, approved, that's fine. You just can't take still photography or, one of those things. But since he had already put this, order in place that there was no live streaming allowed inside the court proceedings, they decided to ask anyway. I don't know. But it got denied. Not only did it get denied, it got denied. And then he attached the document that they came out with, order denying second motion. Like this is the document. It says like to remove the cameras from courtroom. Like here, read this again, because this is what we put out in November. I just thought it was kind of entertaining. I don't know why. It was local too. It was local. That's the thing. It was Misty Reed. She's going to be feeling the heat now. Where's KXLY? I should do it just so my name's on there. That's it. Like that subscribe thing's been on there like twice already. Sorry if it's too much. Like the little night bot. I guarantee that's why BK did it. He wanted to be remembered. He wanted that spotlight off. Something. Maybe wanted to be remembered for something. I mean, hell. There's a lot more things that you could do. I mean, he was going to school to be PhD. Why couldn't you just do that? That wasn't enough. I guess that wasn't enough. So I just thought it was funny that the judge actually attached this memorandum to that as well. He's like, here you go. I'm just going to give this to you guys. Oh, okay. Hopefully this isn't like too big. Is this too big? Because I'm like, I'm blind as a bat. Can a YouTuber ever admit they don't have enough info to be sure? If I see Drip Top trying to sell me a tunnel again, I'm going to lose my shit. Just solve the case if you're so positive. I haven't been watching so long. It's been so long. I can't do it. I just can't. I can't. Because then I get fired up. Actually, maybe I need to do that. And then I go to the second channel and get fired up. Because when I'm fired up, I'm hilarious. I really am. I'm not going to lie. I'm pretty witty. Just because, I've always had to be, I feel like. Growing up with my father, you had to be quick-witted. He was always getting one over on you. Vivi said, "I'm glad for the court live stream. I am not interested in seeing the defendant." Yeah, I mean, I want to see who's on the witness stand personally. That's what they did in Letitia Stout trial. They just had a fixated camera on her, but then when certain people were taking the stand, like the one and only Dorothy. Oh my lordy. They had the camera on her. So I'm not sure what they're going to do if they'll have it fixated on Brian Kohlberger, because that's a big thing, right? They don't want them looking at Brian Kohlberger. Like what? Why? I mean, seriously, think about it for a minute. If this was any other case, or I mean, anywhere else, look at Richard Allen. Supposedly, allegedly, he unalived 2 girls, right? With either his bare hands or a knife, something that was like not a gun, nothing that could make noise. That's what the story is. He is in shackles and chains being shifted, carried into court. This dude unalives 4 people, college students, and he's walking in a suit, which, I mean, walk in with whatever, but just like you're walking in a suit, no shackles, no handcuffs, no nothing. I don't get it. I just don't get it. It's very double standard. Like, that's what I feel like I think across the board, all laws should be the same. It's kind of ridiculous. That's not. Like, what makes Idaho different than Ohio? Do you know what I mean? Like, does that make sense? And if someone can answer that, let me know. Maybe it has to do with population. I don't know, but why can't the laws all be the same? Even if you have to make up a weird law because you live in a certain city, just make it for everybody. Oh, he doesn't have the look. He has no look. Actually, he has no look. Me too, Steve. I just want to feel like, he said, I want to feel like justice served at the end of this. Me too. Yeah, like, and they're any other person, they're not. And I mean, just, I don't care if he's in street clothes, but normally they're not. Oh, I was just saying, like, Ohio and Idaho for Idaho for Jesse. No, I've never really seen anyone walking in with just suit and tie, no handcuffs, no nothing. I mean, like, people aren't even surrounding him. Like, or I mean, not surrounding him, and I mean, like, a cop doesn't even walk in with him. It's very, I don't know, it's just very strange to me. I mean, it's just something I'm not used to. And I'm sure, within my YouTube career, we'll see a lot of things that I'm not used to. Yeah, just like, I mean, maybe he shouldn't get to wear suits all the time. Well, I mean, Steve Gonzalez said he has 5 suits. He knows exactly how many suits the kid has. And I love that. So this one is the one that kind of people are a little upset about, and I can totally understand, especially if they're not going to, because I'm not sure. I thought he said that they were going to live stream the proceedings, but they may not. They may like record them and then release them at the end of the day, just in case like something happens, because it's such a big case. I don't know. I could see that happening though, because the case is so large. But this is for amended order governing courthouse and courtroom conduct, aka get your shit together. This order governs courthouse and courtroom conduct and media activities in the case. This order shall supersede any prior order governing courthouse and courtroom conduct. So all the other ones are out the window. This is the one we have to listen to now. The court is mindful of the need to balance, one, the constitutional right of the defendant to a fair hearing, two, the public's right to information in conjunction with the constitutional and statutory rights of the media to attend the proceedings, three, the court's interest in maintaining order and an environment that permits all participants to focus on their responsibilities without undue distractions, and four, the court's interest in the safety of the public and court personnel and the need to follow all Idaho Supreme Court orders as may be changed or amended from time to time. With these factors in mind, pursuant to Idaho Court Administrative Rules, and it gives the rules 45 and 49. Well, they better hire some more officers because dude that's been sitting in there so far, he's just been chilling with his leg up. You know what I'm talking about. He chills with one leg, like one leg crossed over. You know what I'm talking about. That guy. I would love to have his job. I'd love to have his job. Sitting there listening to all that, I would love it. He gets to hear it all. Hey, this kid. Right. Mm-hmm. Hey, man, Manny V. I almost said Mary V. Welcome on in. Hey, Cheryl. Wait, I saw that you had a milestone up there earlier today, Cheryl, and it didn't show up when I came in live. I just realized that. You've been a member for like 7 months, I thought it said. Congratulations, Cheryl. Thank you so much. I thought I saw that. Thank you so much. If for like some reason, if you post something and it's super early, like if it's like super like early before, like a couple hours before the live, per se, like, or 3 hours, I don't know. It won't pop up. But some after, like if you post like an hour before, it'll pop up. It's so weird. But I did see that because I came in for a minute. I just forgot. So it is hereby ordered that, one, the courtroom seating and attendance, A, seating for victims' families, counsel, defendant's family, they're not coming, and court personnel. Certain seating may be reserved for counsel, authorized court personnel, the defendant's family, and the victim's families. Well, of course, those should be the first, row or two? Well, how? You got 4 families on the prosecution side. You're going to need a lot more than just 2 rows. You're going to need the whole side for just the family. I'm wondering, like, exactly what family members are going. Like, I'm wondering if Maddie's mom's going to go. I'm wondering if Kara Kernodle's going to go. I'm wondering if the Chapins will change their mind closer to trial and they may decide to go for certain days, but you know. Let's see. So, general public and media seating. The public and members of the media may be permitted in the courtroom as space permits on a first-come basis. No person may reserve seats. No standing in the courtroom will be allowed. C, seating in the front of the bar. No person other than court personnel designated by the court, the defendant and counsel, and their assistants shall be permitted to sit in front of the bar of the courtroom without specific authorization of the court. D, enter and exit during court proceedings. Spectators, including members of the media and the public, shall be seated before court is in session during any portion of the hearing. No entry or re-entry to the courtroom shall be permitted while court is in session. No movement around the courtroom will be allowed during court proceedings. Well, that's. I mean, this is like standard. I mean, that's easy peasy. General restrictions and requirements. A, security screening. All persons entering the courtroom are subject to security screening. No food, beverage, firearms, or other weapons are permitted in the courthouse. All handbags, backpacks, or purses are prohibited in the courtroom. Any personal property items are subject to inspection. Okay. Well, I mean, you know, you don't want to, that's like, I mean, that's a lot of, stuff if you have to worry about people's bags and stuff. You finally figured it out. You've been a member for 6 months. You got your arm. We got your rainbow arm, Steve. I thought you were a member for longer than that. Thank you so much for being a member so long. You're the best. You're the best. I love that your arm changed. So that I keep telling Vincent, get on that 1 year arm. He's gonna have to do that. I've had him doing so many things though. He's been so crazy. It's been crazy around here. But you guys, it's almost done. Cannot wait. So this is the one I think everyone was kind of upset about. So B, cell phones. So, and this is what I don't. I'll read this first, and then I'll give my opinion. Cell phones are permitted inside the courthouse, but must be turned off and stowed out of view during the proceedings and any court recess while inside the courtroom. Cell phones shall not be used for texting, emailing, recording, or transmitting audio, images, or written accounts of the proceedings to platforms such as Facebook, X, formerly Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, blogs, or other similar platforms or websites while inside of the courtroom. Cell phones may only be used outside of the courtroom. Violation of this rule may result in confiscation of the phone by the court, a bailiff, or other court personnel. I wonder if you get your phone back at the end of the day. Kind of like at school. I never had a cell phone in school, but you know what I mean? You have something, the teacher takes it, give it back to you at the end of the day. So Brian Enton won't be tweeting live tweets, but if the court proceedings are live, so this is the part I don't get. So if the court proceedings are going to be transmitted live, right? We don't need Brian Enton's tweets because we'll be watching the court proceedings live, right? Does that make sense? So, I mean, if they're live, it's not a big deal. Now, if they're not live, it kind of sucks because we do have to wait until like 8 hours later, but we only have to wait 8 hours to get the footage. Yeah, you can keep your phone. You just have to turn it off. No, I'm just saying, like, if you were on it, Cheryl, like if you were texting or something and you got caught and they confiscated it, I wonder if they'd give it back to you. Yeah. I mean, I always thought you had to turn your cell phone off when court was in session anyway. I mean, I'm guilty. I've been to court. I've been in a courtroom, like not even for myself, just, and you always turn your phone off. Like, I don't know. There's places and things that you do think, I don't know. You just do things you're supposed to, you turn your cell phone off or you turn the ringer down. I always turn my phone completely off because I'm always afraid my ringer will still be on. But this, I haven't been in a courtroom since 10 years ago. My car accident. Not my fault, by the way. Wasn't there by choice. So yeah, I guess Brian Enton just can't tweet to us, and he tweets so fast. He's the best. But if you think about it, he'll be there. If these are live, he's going to be there. You know what I mean? Like and they're live, then like we'll all watch it together. Well, he'll be there first because he'll be there. Yeah, Ladybug, you just can't use your phone. Yeah. Hey, Aries. Thank you, Doodlebug, for the super sticker. That's so kind. the thinking face. I love that. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. I mean, I've always just turned my phone off. Like even when I go to the movie theater, you know what I mean? Like you could turn your phone down. It's like rude, I guess. I don't know, just respectful thing. But I mean, I understand that they want to live tweet, but we used to not live in this day and age where you could live tweet. You know what I mean? I thought you had, Steve. You've been here the whole time. You've been here forever. I love that. So it says here, other electronic devices. Computers, laptops, and other similar devices are permitted in the courtroom for note-taking only and may be used in a manner that does not interfere with the court proceedings. Are you freaking kidding me now? Okay, hold on. Hold on a second. Okay. Let me get this straight. So they want them to type on a keyboard. Like my keyboard's not loud. Like it's literally like, it's not loud, but you know what I mean? Like it's loud on a keyboard. They want them all to be typing. Who was that had, was that Lori Vallow's trial where all you could hear was typing? I think that's who it was. But like, I mean, literally. So instead of letting them take notes in their phone, which I know that that's like crazy because they could be on Twitter tweeting it out, but I think that they all know the law and that they would be in big trouble for that, like contempt of court. Hey, Ivy. So instead of them just like on their phone quietly, tweeting away, they're going to be click, 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 click. Oh no, right next to the microphone. You're exactly right, Doodlebug. Hey, Robin V. Yeah, no, that's crazy. No, that's a little, I mean, I understand the phone thing though, because, but I hope they all have silent keyboards like me and a silent little mouse like me. You can't even hear my mouse because it's so quiet. I got the quietest one. So it says here, cameras and microphones on electronic devices must be disabled while inside the courtroom. Electronic devices shall not be used to email, chat, record, or transmit audio, images, or written accounts of the proceedings to platforms such as Facebook, X, formerly Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, blogs, or other similar platforms. You get it. Violation of this rule may result in confiscation of the device by the court or bailiff. I mean, yeah, like, why didn't they put on here and you be held in contempt or something? Maybe, disruptive behavior. Ooh. Any activity or behavior which is considered disruptive by the court will result in removal of the court from the courtroom. Any spectator who creates a visual or auditory disturbance of the court proceedings may be removed from the courtroom and or the building at any time at any discretion of the court security personnel. Hey, Mike. I feel like, someone's going to get kicked out of court. Do you guys think that Brian Koberger's family is going to show up? And I forgot to do that. I forgot to end the poll last night, but we all know it was 100%. Let me go over here. That's a good poll. For the love of God, though, someone remind me to end the poll. I always forget to end them. Do you think Brian Koberger's family will show up? Okie dokie. There we go. Okay. Don't forget to vote in the poll, everybody. Please like the video as well if you don't mind. Just taking a second to hit the like button. It really helps. So it says video recording, still photography, audio recording prohibited. No video recording, still photography, or auto recording is prohibited by members of the media or the public as ordered by the court in the November 17th, 2023 order denying second motion to intervene and granting defendants motion to remove media cameras from the courtroom. Guess I had to put that in there. A live stream of the proceedings will be provided by the court and will be available in real time on the court's YouTube page. We are golden, y'all. We golden. What do you mean? Let's see here. All you have to do is just watch. Yeah. So all we'd have to do, let me see. Now, are they saying that we can't live stream the proceedings? Like, are they, hold on a second. Are they saying that, like, I can't get on Judge's YouTube page and stream it from my YouTube? Let me know if anyone has that answer, because I'll fall out of the damn chair if we can't watch it together. We will freaking show up somewhere. We will go to wherever we need to go in this country. Sorry, y'all, we have a lot of people in the US. You have to come to us. But you know what I mean? We have to central point us somewhere and we have to watch it. Let me know. BK family, maybe Zoom. No, but Roseanne, I'm wondering if I can. Like, I'm wondering if I can go on Judge John Judge. Like, you know how like I stream things to you guys, like live stream? I'm wondering if we're allowed to live stream the court proceedings. Oh, you just can't edit anything. Oh, I don't know how to edit lives anyway. Pfft, shit. You can't take it to zoom in on his crotch later. Doodlebug's like, man, well, Doodlebug. So shit, that's what I was going to do. I was just, okay. So yeah, because I literally, I will cry. And I will cry. I will cry. You think that Peach a second chance says, I have a feeling at least one of his sister will be a secret witness to testify about his behaviors. Maybe, yeah. Especially the one that he stole the cell phone from. I'm sorry, but if your parents call the law on you and you're like, what, 14, 16? I think it was 16. I can't remember for sure. But that's not the first time you done messed up. You messed up a lot more. You messed up a lot before your parents call the police on you. That's like a last chance resort. You know what I mean? So whatever he did prior to that must have been pretty bad too. Now, maybe he was just acting out, being a kid, being a teenager, but that doesn't sound good. So, where were we at? Sorry. These prohibitions include during recess in the court proceedings. Okay. Oh, here we go. Okay. The media and the public may capture and use the live stream video and audio footage. I should have read that. Sorry. But are, it was like the next sentence, but are strictly prohibited from altering the footage in any way, including zooming in on the defendant, live broadcasting, transmitting, or streaming by the media and the public from inside the courtroom is prohibited. These prohibitions include during recess in the court proceedings. Okay, well, that sounds okay to me. We're okay. I'm back on track. I didn't fall off the wagon yet. Hey, Fancy was my name. I just noticed that your picture. Wait, I just noticed your picture was Reba. I mean, I know the song because I love that. Here's your one chance, Fancy, don't let me down. Okay, now it's gonna be in my head. I love Reba. Man, she's great. Where were we now? Portions of proceedings that will not be live streamed. The court-operated live stream coverage of the proceedings will not include audio or video of closed hearings, private bench conferences, which are sidebars, between the court and counsel, conferences between an attorney and client, or conferences among counsel. The video and audio recordings may be stopped or paused at any time by order of the court to protect sensitive witness exhibits, members of the trial jury, or for any other reason the court deems necessary. Sounding more like Letitia's trial here. Interviews, reporting, and vehicle parking. Oh, that's going to be bad. Well, I mean, if they have it at the school. News conferences, interviews, or reporting is prohibited inside the courtroom or courthouse common areas. News conferences, interviews, or reporting in the courthouse parking lot or on courthouse grounds is allowed as set forth in the Latah County Parking and Media Access Map, and it's attached at the bottom. Any news conferences, interviews, or reporting from the courthouse grounds shall be done in a manner not to impede foot traffic, obstruct access to the courthouse, or interfere with the daily operations of Latah County. Media vehicle parking is allowed as set forth in the map. In addition, any interviews, media reporting, or media parking shall be subject to any additional orders by the court. D. Media inquiries. Media inquiries and communications regarding these matters shall be directed to Nate Papaino, court communications manager for the Idaho Supreme Court, or by phone, or Latah County District Court. E. All other supervisions of Idaho Court Administrative Rule, ICAR 45 and 49 apply, and any authorization under this order may be revoked at any time without prior notice. Security. Courthouse area security. Security officers may quiet or disperse members of the public or the media so as not to hinder other members of the public, Latah County employees, and court staff from accessing the building, the district court's clerk's office, and any other courtrooms or offices in the building. Well, to me, this little letter sounds like they're going to have it at the Latah County Courthouse. B, disruptive behavior. You know what I mean? Like if they were planning on having it at the school, wouldn't he wait to write this and like put like, you know, these rules in for the school? Because that's where they wanted to, the prosecutor, Bill Thompson said, hey, we want to have trial in, summertime. And we want to have it over at the school because no one's in session at the high school because it's across the street. But this judge is writing this out like this is going to be at the actual courthouse, which is extremely small. So Brian Enton might want to get a tent. No, I haven't. Steve. I want to hear it now. I love her. I love old country. I'm an old country fan. So we already read that. So that disruptive behavior. Any activity or behavior which is considered disruptive by the court will result in removal. Any spectator who creates a visual or auditory disturbance of the court proceedings may be removed from the court and or building at any time of the discretion of court security personnel. Violations of this order may subject the violator to a charge of contempt. The clerk of the court shall pass this order as conspicuous locations within the courthouse and provide copies to all interested parties. That's Judge John Judge. Signed, sealed, delivered. Hey, Stephanie. Is it a re-release? I don't know. I don't remember reading this before. Oh, yeah, Therese, late 80s, 90s. Yep, got that right. Let me see here. Cheryl says she loves Reba too. I can get down some Reba. Oh, Jan, Olivia, Jan. Hi, Olivia. Jan's probably sleeping. I've been going late on my lives, and her and poor Isabel, like it's like probably morning at Isabel's house now. Hey, Amy, what's up? Mhm. Yeah, DM. I think she's gonna try to push it out further. She already tried that crap. What was that she was trying? She said that she didn't. Oh yeah, okay. So the judge made a decision on the jury and all of that. He said no go, denied. She's like, well, I don't like your decision because Bill Thompson had come back. He had already said he wanted trial in the summer at the school. Like he had it all planned out. So she comes back and she says, I don't like your decision on the memorandum or the motion that we just had. So I'm going to go to the Supreme Court and I'm going to need you to have a stay of proceedings for me so that I'm allowed to do that. And that's what she's trying to pull now. So yeah, she's trying to pull some funny stuff, but that's her job, as a defense attorney. You guys are naming all the goodies. George Strait is my favorite, but I can't listen to him because he makes me cry every time I do because I just love his voice so much. Oh, Dolly. So Mystic, they're wanting the trial to be in the summer, but they haven't made an actual date yet. They have so Bill Thompson said, hey, like we want to have it in the summer and we want to have it at the school. We want to have it between 8:00 in the morning or 8:30. So 3:30. That way the jurors can go and do other things that they need to do. Like they have it ready. They have like literally step by step with like, I think they did that so that Ann Taylor couldn't come back and say, well, I want to change a venue. Whenever they'd say, we want to go trial in summer. She could say, well, no, I want to change a venue. So I think that they were like planning all of that out so that there wasn't anything to come back on. And then she did come back and go, well, I don't like his decision from, a few days ago. So I'm going to go ahead and, take this to the Supreme Court. That's what I've gathered from it. So that's what I've been gathering so far. But this right here is just a motion to temporarily seal objection to defendant's motion to reconsider orders denying motion to dismiss indictment and in the alternative for permission to appeal from interlocutory orders and a stay of proceedings pending hearing. And that's what we were just talking about. That's what she's fighting against. And literally this right here is all it's going to say right here, pretty much. And we've read these a million gazillion times. Just says temporarily order sealing the state's objection to defendant's motion to reconsider orders denying motion to dismiss indictment and in the alternative for permission to appeal from interlocutory orders and of stay of proceedings herein. And it says because, it'd mess with someone, mess with the court case, it'd mess with, a witness, those type of things. So they're just locking it down over here, locking it down like they normally do. And then I don't know why I have that in pink. Oh, this is because it's because of Latah County. Okay. This is because this is the prosecutor that asked this. That's why it's in pink. I do them pink for the prosecution, blue for the defense, and yellow for the court. If you ever are wondering why they're in color. Maybe one day I'll be able to say it enough and everyone will just know. I don't know, maybe. Oh, fancy. I just saw that your comment, that song. Ooh, yeah, that one gets me. My brother used to sing it. He probably still does, but that sounds like he's dead. He's not dead. But he used to sing whenever we were kids, like we were 9 years apart. So he used to sing it like when he was getting ready and stuff. And that's how I don't know. Just, when you hear a song, you just always think of something. You think of someone. I just think of him. It makes me sad, but makes me happy sad. I don't know. So this one here is just the same thing. It's just saying that it's sealed. They're going to, the court does hereby confirm an order, to seal that. So not too much groundbreaking, but I think that if they're going to have if they're going to have the court proceedings live and we're allowed to live stream them, then live tweets we don't need. We don't need them. Now, I know people were speculating and saying, well, what if their camera goes out and something funny happens? Do you know how many people are going to be sitting in that gallery? How many witnesses? They'd be like, that didn't happen. We were all here. There's going to be 100 people in there or something. So I don't think we have a problem with anything like that happening. If the cameras go down, the cameras go down. They're not going to show things anyway. They're probably not going to show some of the witnesses. I doubt they show Bethany. I doubt they show Dylan. I really do. I doubt they show Brian Kohlberger's family if they take the stand. The only people I believe that they'll show are the expert witnesses that are they're testifying. I think that's the only people that they're going to show. Other than that, I think it'll probably be fixated. The camera probably will be fixated. Maybe on the prosecution because they don't want it on the defense. I'm not sure. Let me see here. Eden. I'm just reading the chat. So if the school is back in session and public school is off limits because of students, do you think they would find a spot on campus? I don't think so, because they would be in school too. I just don't know how they would do that. I don't know. I think it's gonna happen in the summer. I'm gonna have faith, guys. I'm gonna have faith. When we found out a trial wasn't gonna happen, I literally thought I got like punched in the stomach. Was I on camera? I can't remember now. Thank you, Donald. I really appreciate that. I read your comment. Thank you. He said, I always read them and then I forget to put them up. He said, your channel is full of fresh ideas and good minds bouncing information off of each other. Very well done. Thank you. Sometimes they just chat on their own, and I'm just here chatting. I'm just here reading stuff. And then I'm like, what are they doing in the chat? Talking about Reba. No, I'm just kidding. I love Reba. I used to sing her songs all the time when I was a little girl because that's what I did. That's what I did. Can you imagine, like, I don't even know, like some of the music that we listened to as kids, I'm like, do we even know what we were listening to? Because it's just, this isn't going very well. So I'm going to go ahead and move it to the Nancy Grace, or not podcast, but video. This was on Fox Nation. I put the link in the description, but I know that you have to have a subscription to Fox Nation in order to watch it. But you might be able to do like a free trial if you want to like binge on some Fox Nation, I have it because of Nancy. But Nancy, I don't think works there anymore. So, No, Nancy, it's not your fault. I'm just kidding. They're talking about tater tots now, so it's okay. I'm just kidding. I love it when you guys talk about whatever. I really do. I really don't mind at all. I think I really don't mind. Because then you guys get me talking about, but then you get me talking about other stuff. That's the problem. Then I'm like, oh, wait, what are you guys talking about? I want to know. So we'll go ahead and we'll move it over to the Nancy Grace podcast. This is like 43 minutes long. So this is going to be, Patsy cleanse my shit. Dang it, happy. So this is 43 minutes long. It's going to be about the Hyundai Elantra. So this was aired, what did I say it was? The 8th? Yeah, so 12/8/2022. So put yourself back, go back in time, wipe yourself clean if you've heard of any crime circuses stuff. And we'll play this, and I will pause it here and there just for commentary. But if you guys don't mind just taking a second, hit the like button. It really helps. I'll try not to bother you guys too much throughout the video. And if you guys don't mind, subscribe to the channel if you like the content. We are here usually, we are here daily, but we don't have a set time right now. It's usually between 8 and 10, 8 and 11.
Breaking news in the search for a killer that slaughtered 4 Idaho University students, we believe, in their sleep. In the last hours, police have issued a BOLO, be on the lookout for a 2011-2013 Hyundai Elantra. Why? I'm Nancy Grace. This is Crime Stories. Thank you for being with us here at Fox Nation and Sirius XM 111. First of all, take a listen to our friends at KREM.
Moscow PD saying today they're now looking for a white 2011 to 2013 Hyundai Elantra. Police say tips and leads led investigators to look at additional information about the car being in the immediate area of King Street, where the murders happened during the early morning hours of November 13th. Again, it's a white 2011 to 2013 Hyundai Elantra. Police say the license plate is not known right now. But still, this is a significant step in the investigation, as investigators have yet to release any information about a suspect or suspects, and this is potentially the first significant piece of evidence they've released publicly so far in their effort to solve this case.
Very interesting. This is the first real piece of evidence that the Moscow police are releasing. This must be significant, although we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. In the last hours, cops announcing they are on the hunt for a 2011 to 13 Hyundai Elantra, white in color, tag plates unknown. With me, an all-star panel, but first I want to go straight out to Stephanie Pagonis joining us, Fox News digital crime reporter. Stephanie, when did this happen and what exactly did they say?
Okay, so police have said that they have received tips and leads that have led them to believe they're looking for this white Hyundai Elantra sedan. Now, this vehicle, they believe, is from the 2011-2013 model. What they say that is interesting is that they have seen this vehicle in the immediate area of the King Street crime scene. This came, what they say, is in the early morning hours of November 13th. This is around the time that the victims are believed to have been killed. Officials previously told the public and the media that the victims are believed to have been stabbed between 3 a.m. and 4 a.m.
You know, this is one of the many, many reasons that one of the first things you try to do after you secure the crime scene is try to.
I just missed that. Okay, hold on. I missed something there. Did they say that they had him like on camera at the crime scene? I'm going to go back just a few seconds. I want to hear that lady. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm like, what did I just hear?
In the immediate area of King Street.
Or EM.
Moscow PD saying today they're now looking for a white 2011 to 2013 Hyundai Elantra. Police say tips and leads led investigators to look at additional information about the car being in the immediate area of King Street, where the murders happened during the early morning hours of November 13th. Again, it's a white 2011 to.
So the officers got tips. Wonder what those tips were.
2013 Hyundai Elantra. Police say the license plate is not known right now. But still, this is a significant step in the investigation, as investigators have yet to release any information about a suspect or suspects, and this is potentially the first significant piece of evidence they've released publicly so far in their effort to solve this case.
Very interesting. This is the first real piece of evidence that the Moscow police are releasing. This must be significant, although we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. In the last hours, cops announcing they are on the hunt for a 2011 to 13 Hyundai Elantra, white in color, tag plates unknown. With me, an all-star panel, but first I want to go straight out to Stephanie Pagonis joining us, Fox News digital crime reporter. Stephanie, when did this happen and what exactly did they say?
Okay, so police have said that they have received tips and leads that have led them to believe they're looking for this white Hyundai Elantra sedan. Now, this vehicle, they believe, is from the 2011-2013 model. What they say that is interesting is that they have seen this vehicle in the immediate area of the King Street crime scene. This came, what they say, is in the early morning hours of November 13th. This is around the time that the victims are believed to have been killed. Officials previously told the public and the media that the victims are believed to have been stabbed between 3 a.m. and 4 a.m.
You know, this is one of the many, many reasons that one of the first things you try to do after you secure the crime scene is try to develop a timeline. If the timeline is wrong, almost everything you do after that is wrong. It taints the whole thing. For instance, if they got the timeline wrong, then looking for this white Hyundai may be completely irrelevant. Joining me again, an all-star panel. I want to go first to Jonathan T. Gilliam, former FBI special agent, former Navy SEAL, author of a hit book, Sheep No More, The Art of Awareness and Attack Survival, on Amazon. Jonathan, thank you for being with us. A lot of buzzwords, I'm sure, jumped out at not only me, but you and my expert in forensics, Cheryl McCollum, also with me, Karen Stark and David Leroy. But interesting, the immediate area of the murder house, the crime scene, at the time they believe the murders happened. Now, the only thing that I see there that could have a little leeway is immediate area. Was it right in front of the house? Was it a block away? But I want to hear your analysis.
Well, the good thing is with now that they have a vehicle that they're concentrating on, they can also look at the cell towers that are around there, and they may not be able to identify specifically who was in that car, but they can kind of pick out when a cell phone moved to another tower and where eventually those cell phones went, if in fact they had one in that car. So, and I would think that somebody who has escalated to this point of killing, like everybody else, they probably do have a cell phone. And if they left it in the car, then it would have stayed there and then left with them. That would actually be almost a better circumstance than if the killer lived nearby and left their cell phone at home and the cell phone had never moved. So if they can combine that car with any type of movement of cell phones around there, and then video footage, I think these are the types of things that and technologies that investigators can kind of key in on and start to triangulate the movement of certain people or certain phones or the vehicle to where they can start narrowing who this car belongs to. I think it's very important for them to incorporate all these different things. And I think you saw an example of this type of tracking with the abduction and murder that just happened in Texas a week ago of a 7-year-old girl. So now that they're at this point, if it is in fact somebody associated with the killing, like in Texas, they will be able to use the digital evidence to quickly start kind of honing in on potential subjects.
You know, it's really interesting, Jonathan Gilliam, that you bring up the case of Athena Strand. She is a 7-year-old little girl that was at home with her stepmother, and she and the stepmom had a little fuss. So the stepmom believes she's going back to her room, when in fact she went outside. A FedEx driver came along and got her. Could you
remember that one, Athena Strand? We covered that case. Wonder where he's rotting at right now. He'll be going to court soon.
explain again for those listening? On day one, I suggested a data dump, which is a real pain in the rear end, very exhaustive search of who, based on a cell tower, the cell phones in that area at that time, that interval of hours, say between 2:50 and 4:30 a.m. And it can be done really right down to the block. So if you could explain that and how you would integrate that along with movement of the cell phone and IDing the car. You mentioned video, but Cheryl McCollum and Stephanie Pagonis, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think they've got any Ring doorbell or any surveillance video.
As far as I know, so sorry, Cheryl. As far as I know, there were not many cameras around, and it's been a question lately of if there are cameras now, were they installed after these attacks happened? We've spoken to neighbors, some of whom have said that they decided to install them after the fact.
Were you going to say something, Cheryl, on that?
Yeah, I was just going to say, I believe at some point they do have that car on video, and I think that's how they're tracking the movements of that car.
I don't know that they track the movements of the car yet, or that they have it on video. I mean, I hope you're right. Jump in, Jonathan.
So also with those Ring cameras, before I say about the cell towers, those Ring cameras, most people, I'm guilty of this myself, you get a Ring camera, and then after the initial trial period goes away, people don't want to pay to have stuff recorded, so they just have the cameras set to alert. And so that's why you don't get a lot of recording off of these cameras. Also,
Absolutely. Does anyone else have a Ring doorbell that just has no record? I think mine records, but I know a lot of people that just, you do the trial period, and then after you're done, you're like, ugh, I don't want to pay for, them to record. I live inside of a building and I have a Ring doorbell. Kind of weird, but I do.
I worked, was part of the 2008 investigation of a guy who rode a bicycle all over New York and drove up to at 3 a.m, coincidentally, and drove up to the recruitment center in Times Square, put a pipe bomb down, drove off, and blew up the front of the recruitment depot. We've never caught that guy, and that's the most videotaped place in the world. So videos won't always show you what you want to see. However, if there are videos and they do show the movement of the car or of a phone, it won't be the car, but it will be of a phone on these cell towers at that time, then you might be able to narrow it down. And your phones are constantly, whether you're using them or not, they are constantly reaching out. So it kills our battery. They're communicating with cell towers. And sometimes you can stay in the same place and they'll be pushed to multiple cell towers. But that also can help because they can kind of triangulate where the phone may be. But as you start to move, especially in a place like Idaho, where it's not as populated, you'll have a tremendous amount of cell towers in one place. And then as you get more remote, you're going to have less and less cell towers. So you'll be dumped off to the next one. And then down the road, you'll be dumped off to the next one. So that actually becomes not more specific, but you can tell that they're moving in a particular direction. So with the data dump, which you just described, I think that's a perfect example that they could give these families who seem to be very impatient with this, and I understand why, but this is not like the movie. When we have
right.
computer screens, they don't make noises and things, and there's not colors all over offices, and evidence doesn't just get processed immediately. Going through these cell towers information, it is labor intensive. You got to get a subpoena to go get the stuff, and then people have to physically go through this stuff and figure it out.
Yes, it'll take a long time, which is what I said at the very beginning. For those of you just tuning in the last hours, Moscow police have announced they are on the search for a white Hyundai Elantra. That is SOP, standard operating procedure. And finding a vehicle connected to a crime has long been a way of cracking cases. Take a listen to our friends at KCAL 9.
He knew what he was doing. Exactly. But thank goodness he made a lot of mistakes. Parking in the driveway, having somebody see him.
A neighbor took this photo out of her window of the suspect's red car in her driveway, thinking it might have been stolen and dumped here. It was 10:30 in the morning last Friday, minutes before the Winnick's home started burning. The neighbor, who asked not to be named, told me that she saw 28-year-old Austin Lee Edwards dressed in a black trench coat and face mask, walking with the 15-year-old who lives in the house. They were getting into the red car. She was trying to mouth the words to me, but nothing came out, the neighbor said. I looked down and saw she was barefoot. She was crying a little bit. She didn't try to make a run for it.
One person spotting a red vehicle seemingly out of place and seeing a guy in a trench coat leading a barefoot girl to the car. That one car identification solved a triple homicide and the kidnap of a 15-year-old girl taken from her home, her family murdered, so the perp could rape the girl. She was found safely, and he was apprehended and then shot dead when he opened fire on police. Another well-known example is that of Timothy McVeigh, the Oklahoma City bomber. Listen to Jim Norman, case agent.
Highway patrol about 90 minutes of the bombing. We found out that an Oklahoma Highway Patrol trooper had made an inquiry on Tim McVeigh within about 90 minutes of the bombing. Hanger had been heading south toward Oklahoma City based on a Highway Patrol dispatcher call for all available troopers to head to Oklahoma City to assist. He had gotten a discontinue. He was about 62 miles north of Oklahoma City, and he turned around in the median on Interstate 35. And as he's starting to head back north, he's passed by this yellow Mercury marquee that's missing its rear license plate. And so he pulls
There's
that
the
car
manatee
over,
cup.
and the driver gets out of the car, and Hanger has to order him to stay by the door of his car.
You know, Cheryl McCullum joining me. And I'm going to Cheryl because not only is she the founder and director of the Cold Case Research Institute, don't get me wrong, the Idaho case is not cold, but her job is to sift through forensics and come up with ways to solve cases. Cheryl, I could listen to investigators talk about how they solve murder cases with the identification of a car. And I've done it myself time and time again in court. I can listen to that case investigator on McVeigh. McVeigh was one of the worst villains that have ever been put in the jail. He needs to be under the jail. And he was caught because he was missing a little piece of a light on his tail light.
Correct. Ted Bundy was stopped, if you remember.
Oh,
So
you're right. Wait, tell the
these
story,
vehicles-
Cheryl. Don't just throw out a name.
Who was the guy that was pulled over and had the body in the car? Do you remember that? It was a serial killer, I believe. Might have been Ted Bundy. They might be saying it right now, but someone they had the body in the car, got pulled over, and got away with it. Cop didn't see it, I guess, apparently. Or maybe he did. I can't remember the last part, but I thought he got away with it.
Tell me about how he was stopped. I love that. I love that. Go ahead.
But again, what it gives us a name. It gives
That's
us a
not
vehicle
the Ted Bundy
description.
story.
I know, but I'm leading up to the story that it's good that he got stopped running a stop sign because that gave us a name. It gave us a vehicle description. It gave us an address of where he was in his hunt for victims. So what I would do if this was my case right now, I've already pulled it up, Nancy. They have weather cameras in Moscow, Idaho.
You are so smart. You're absolutely right. All that snow. Yes.
Girl, I'm looking
so
right now
Jonathan
at
Gilliam
D
is
Street.
right. There could be video footage. Go ahead.
Well, that's what I was saying. They're going to have video of this car, and they're going to be able to track its, direction of travel and everything, because I can look right now at D Street. I can see the whole intersection, the gas station. I'm looking at Plouse River Drive, Line Street, Uniontown. I can see every bit of it. Sherrod Road. These are all public. All they've got to do.
Hey, another thing about that, Cheryl, is that this was the murders occurred on King Road. It's a couple of blocks off campus, and I've been dumbfounded by the fact there seemingly are no campus security cameras around that area. Okay.
Nancy, Dave Leroy here. Let me give you a little context about that.
Good. Please jump in. Hold on. Let me introduce you. Dave Leroy, high-profile lawyer out of Idaho, former attorney general, former lieutenant governor, former prosecutor, and so forth and so on. I got a whole page of his credentials. Go ahead, David. And remember, Jonathan, you're not with us as often. Please jump in. Don't be intimidated by Cheryl or Karen or David or Stephanie, our old hands. Jump in when you're ready. Go ahead, David Leroy.
Nancy, you recall that 4 years ago, while campaigning on campus, I was actually at that residence, 1122 King Street. And the exact location, the precise area, is very significant here, too, because I think it underscores how important this car may be. 1122 King Street is halfway up a hill and in almost a cul-de-sac type of area where there, even during daytime, would not be a lot of traffic. So for a vehicle to be moving away from or in the area of this almost dead-end King Street, halfway up a hill, off campus, but not in any kind of high traffic area or near an arterial, may be even more significant than a typical car moving at 4 a.m.
David Leroy, I love everything you just said, and I love it so much, I want to relive it. Tell me all that one more time.
When I was at 1122 King Street 3 years ago, 4 years ago, you have to go from the main campus up an area, across an athletic field, and then turn right a couple of blocks.
Okay, hold on. Up an area, across an athletic field, and then what?
And then you begin to go up a hill, and it's almost a dead-end cul-de-sac where you move into the parking area of 1122 King Street. It is not adjacent to any high traffic area. There's not a lot of arterial type traffic there. So at 3 a.m. or 4 a.m., a car moving in that particular area is going to be far more significant than a car moving someplace else in town, even at that same unusual hour. Even during daylight, there is very little traffic.
Hold on, David. Which house is it? Show me which one you're talking about. Oh, I see exactly what you mean. Fox Nation, that would be a really good picture to show right now. I'm seeing exactly what David Leroy is talking about. There are not any big streets. Oh, Cheryl McComb, you got to pull this up. Leading right into where the house is. I see exactly what he's talking about. It's kind of
This is a good
in
map.
a circle-ish of roadway. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I see what you mean. There's not a lot of traffic going in and out there. So any movement in the middle of the night between 3 and 4, I want to know who saw the car at 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning. But any movement of that car near 1122 King, I mean, I would say that's immediately suspicious. I want to get that person and find out why they were there. And hey, you know, Karen Stark joining me, renowned New York psychologist joining us from Manhattan. She's at KarenStark.com, Karen with a C. Karen, I always kind of laugh inside when I'm watching a crime, a pretend crime show. Let's just pretend we're talking about CSI or Monk or something. And a car is parked on the street and they always get a ticket or something at the time of the crime. Always happens. There's something about that car that is noticed by somebody. And that car is always connected to the crime. At the end of 4 segments, the case is solved. And that includes commercial breaks. Because it's not that neat and easy. Just like Gilliam was saying earlier, it's not like that at all. But that has a grain of truth in it. Why are people, killers, perps, so arrogant? I mean, it's like they're driving up to McDonald's to get a Big Mac. It's curb service. They park right there, do the crime, and then leave. What?
Well, they do that, Nancy. I got.
What?
Okay, I can never get her on a good face. But anyway, what was he going to do? Rent a car? Like, if you think about it, I mean, if you're going to go commit an unaliving, you're not going to go rent a car because there's going to be evidence of that. There's going to be documentation of you renting the vehicle. If you have somebody else rent it, they're going to be caught too. So you're not going to rent a car because then someone's going to know if you have someone rent it, you know, that you rented it. You're not going to walk there. You're not going to take a Lyft or an Uber because then they're going to see you and be like, I dropped the dude off there. And what is he going to do? Uber back home when he's done and sit there in the parking lot like, damn, this Uber's 15 minutes out. You know, that's not going to work. So you're going to have to drive your own car. I understand that.
Of mind is that?
They're not thinking about those kinds of details very often, Nancy. I mean, think about that whole story with Ted Bundy. I mean, not going to a stop sign. Everybody's looking for this guy, and that's how they catch him. And I'm thinking about this particular scene, and whoever this is, a person or 2 people, they did not care about the fact that there were so many people, and they took huge chances.
Hey, you know what else it might be, Karen Stark? Not caring, arrogance, or Jonathan Gilliam, recklessness. We've heard this as a, quote, sloppy crime scene. What does that mean? And then the recklessness of potentially having your car parked right outside. It shows a certain degree of unpreparedness, not planned, which tells us about the mind of the killer.
Impulsivity is what you're talking about, Nancy.
Yes, Jonathan.
Just not planning it out.
Right. As I'm looking at this map, I'm looking at the same map that you have. You have to realize that that's on a grade, a hill grade there, but there's multiple places that somebody who was going to think their way through an attack and be a methodical attacker, if they were driving, they would have parked their car in a vicinity just outside of there and walked through the trees and probably not been spotted. Even that area of trees behind where their house is a known path for people to walk to and from school and up to that's fraternity houses above that house. Actually, the Sigma Chi house looks right down on their house.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, as I'm looking at that, there's so many places that car could have been parked. And again, that's where, if there are any cameras on any of those buildings, if there's cell towers anywhere around there, that the phone could be handed off to multiple cell towers, and that helps in triangulating where that car might have been. But this is a very interesting place because, as Dave was explaining there a second ago, the way that closes off in a cul-de-sac, there's a lot of roads there that do the same thing. There's several roads that stop, and anybody who goes into that is going to have to turn around and go back out. So what I would hope is, if they find cameras, that they can look earlier in the day and see if that car was there earlier in the day, because there is a chance that if they were actually looking and stalking this neighborhood, that they had been through there before. And I would think that's probably the case.
Guys, take a listen to our friends at CBS.
There's a major development tonight in the murder of 4 college students in Idaho. Detectives want to speak to the driver of a white 2011 to 2013 Hyundai Elantra with unknown license plate. They say the occupants of the car may have critical information regarding the case. Also today, you can see police begin collecting the victims' personal belongings that they say are no longer needed for the investigation. They want to return them to their families.
We are learning that much of the personal items in the home are being packed away. The families, of course, will want these, but what does that tell us about the progression of the processing of the scenes? Take a listen to Chief James Fry, Moscow Police.
Yeah, tomorrow, me and my command team and other individuals will be going in to box up personal belongings of the people that live there. And we're going to be getting those items back to the families. It's time for us to get those things back that really mean something to those families, and hopefully to help with some of their healing.
Why do you personally want to be involved in collecting these possessions?
We have a lot of investigators investigating, and I'm not tied into the investigation side of it, where I'm physically interviewing people, and it's important to me. It's important for us as a department to go in and take care of the families and get the items for them, so that they can have some of those back, and some of those memories back that are fond memories. And I'm a dad. I understand the meaning behind some of those things. It may be something that we gave one of our children or something, and we're just trying to bring some of that healing.
Stephanie Pagonis.
I don't mean to interrupt her, but do you guys remember, if you've been around the channel for a while, let me know. I want to search around for it, but there was a video that we did. There was a live we did, and I showed a video of James Fry, Chief Fry, and he was talking about his children. Like, he has college age kids, and he was like choking up during it. I don't know. It made me tear up. I mean, it really did. Just hearing him like really speak as a person, not a cop, as like a dad. So yeah, I mean, that before, I was just like, whatever's chief, he's a chief police, whatever he is. But I don't know. After that interview, it said a lot. So if you guys can remember what video that was on, let me know, because I'm going to search for it. We've done so many Idahos. I think this is our 284th video or something live.
Joining us, Fox News Digital. What happened?
We're in it. Mm-hmm.
Well, so yes, as Chief Fry just said yesterday, and even potentially today, they said there's a potential they could be back today. Chief Fry and several other police personnel went into the home and came out with several items that we were told belonged to the victims. I want to stress that this is not every item inside the home or that belonged to these victims, but some that police said they have deemed cleared to be removed from the.
Okay, someone explained to me, because I didn't know they were going to show the video, and I was going to ask you guys, whose pillow is this? It has to be Bethany or Dylan's, because it's white. It is so white. It's like brand new, it looks like. As soon as I saw that, I was like, huh. But they do come out with some of the boxes, and they do say Beth on them, so I'm assuming it's Bethany's things. some of these items are.
The home. The families were not present at the time, at least as
They
far as
see
I can
it.
tell from everything I've seen and read. But this was police removing items, packing them up in boxes, and putting them in trucks to haul them elsewhere.
Right there. Oh, okay, right there. You see the name? They had the names on the boxes. I think that they I think that they wanted to get some of the stuff out of the house to give it back to the families, of course. But I also think they wanted to get some of the stuff out of the house so that they could gather more evidence, if that makes sense. Like maybe there was splatter on the wall. They wanted to remove items in front of it, not just like not the stuff that stuff that they had to get rid of, but stuff that they could give back to the families as well. But yeah, that's Bethany's right there. That's Bethany's stuff that they're moving out. Bethany, and then I didn't see any other names on the boxes. I don't recall, but we'll watch this little video and see if we see anything. But I do remember seeing Bethany they say it on both boxes there. So both of those boxes, are for Bethany. Now, North American Relocation Services. I'm gonna look that up. It almost sounds like whenever you like need something to go like cross state lines, you know what I mean? Okay, I'll play this and then I'll let you know.
What do you make of it, Cheryl McCollum?
I mean, I think after a month, if you're talking about some jewelry, some clothing, some pictures, maybe some objects that are important to the family to get back because they were a sentimental gift or something, I mean, it's perfectly appropriate.
Yes, I don't read anything into it one way or the other, except
that
that they have
pillow, look at that
managed
white
to
pillow.
differentiate between what's important and what's not. Who's jumping in? Is that David Leroy? Go ahead.
Yeah, that was
Dave.
Jonathan. Go ahead, Dave.
I would say that there is, of course, some opportunity for the defense in a case when one is brought to say the crime scene was damaged or tampered with. Hopefully, they're being extremely careful and scientific.
I think I am right, y'all. Okay, because I live near a military base. So we always have people, where we live moving in and out. And I'm pretty sure that this is the same company as like the North American Van Lines, like moving company. The big one, like you'll see their trucks. They're like, I think white and blue, but you'll see huge like semis and they like, they move things like cross state lines. They move usually you like pretty far. If you're going to get them, they're a moving company. That's just weird that they got a moving company, like the boxes, but they didn't have the moving company. They couldn't have the moving company come in and move the stuff. So I understand that.
Scientifically neutral on anything they do in there. I agree with giving the material back, but it does raise a defense possibility for attack.
I disagree. Once the scene has been secured and they have processed it, they should give all of that stuff back. As you know, I mean, of course, you've seen TV, right? Once a murder scene has been cleaned and processed, that house will probably be rented out to other people. But what you said is right, David Leroy. They darn well better make sure they're done before they tamper with that scene. Not only do we understand items are given back to the families as they should be, to Karen Stark, that's sentimentally very, very important.
It's incredibly important, Nancy, because think about it. When you lose somebody, I don't know about you, but I'm suspecting that when your dad died, you kept personal items. I know I did. And I slept for the longest time with my dad's glasses under my pillow. And it's just a way to try and hold on to the person for as long as you can. It's really important.
You're right, Karen Stark. And you know that I did. Guys, another facet of the investigation.
Can I say one thing about that?
Sure.
Real quick.
Yeah.
We'll move on. This is, and I'm always coming from the investigative standpoint, right? Which unfortunately that it's hard for people to take, is a very unemotional and neutral standpoint. And I've lost loved ones and I've felt the emotion, but when I'm doing investigation, I shut those things off. And I think in this case, what bothers me about them stopping what they're doing and taking the time out. They said for a second day, people are going to be in there collecting items to get back to the family. That's investigators that could have been running leads. That time in this critical stage that they are stopping and having to do a critical search, because they have to be very careful, as Dave was saying, in what they take and how they take it. Otherwise, it could cause problems later on.
Guys,
And
I
just
know
think
what Jonathan Gilliam was saying may sound harsh, but how are we to know the killer didn't come into the bedroom and pick up one of the girl's brushes or touch her things sitting on her vanity? We don't know. So the point is well taken, harsh, but true. Another facet of the investigation we haven't heard a lot about, and it's because suddenly focus was put on Kelly Gonsalves and her roomie, Maddie, after Kelly's father came out and stated that he believes Kelly was the intended victim, making the others, I guess, collateral damage. We don't know that is correct, but we do know that cops are now honing in on the movements of the other two murder victims, Xana and Ethan. Take a listen to our friends at ABC.
Police zeroing in on the movements of two of the University of Idaho victims, Xana Kernodle and Ethan Chapin, the night they were murdered, looking specifically at the hours between 9 p.m. and 1:45 a.m. when the couple was believed to be at Ethan's fraternity.
Why are you looking for more information specifically about where Xana and Ethan were in regards to his fraternity house?
That actually seems to be one of the larger areas that we don't have a lot of information in. And so being able to locate what they did that night, to maybe who they contacted, maybe any routes that they took home, that would be important for the investigation.
To Stephanie Pagonis, Fox News digital investigative reporter, what do you know about their movements that night? I'm talking about Ethan and Xana.
So there has been for days, if not weeks, questions about where they were. There's a piece of the puzzle that is still missing regarding their whereabouts, and police seem to be concerned that these people who might have been with them might have been doing something else, and they might therefore be fearful that if they say what they were doing, they might get in trouble for something else, if that makes sense. So police have made it very clear to me, and even in their reports, they're just trying to figure out what happened here. They're hoping that could shed more light on what was going on, paint a bigger picture of what was happening. Now, we do believe that earlier in the night on November 12th, Ethan actually attended an event, a different Greek life event on campus with his sister. He is a triplet. His two other siblings did also attend the University of Idaho.
Mm-hmm.
So that does paint a picture, but as far as I know, and it's not, I'm not certain on this, but there's a question of whether Xana was with him, and if she wasn't, where was she during that time?
That's a really good point. What does this mean, Cheryl McCollum?
Well, again, you're trying to connect these dots. Who did they interact with? When did they leave? Where did they go? Because you're talking about from 9 o'clock at night till about 1:45. So almost 5 hours that their movements are unaccounted for. So we don't know if they came in contact with somebody, if they went somewhere and, purchased something or went to another party. We don't know where they were for at least 5 hours. And that's something police want to know.
And why do you believe it is so significant, Cheryl?
Because again, at some point, these four people intersected with a killer. Was it before that killer entered the house? They're going to want to narrow this down. Did Ethan have a problem with somebody? Did they have a, little argument with somebody over something? We don't know. We don't know if it's the food truck people. We don't know if it's the Uber driver. There's all of these connections that we've got to check off before we move on. And again, the car is a great start, but, you've got two other people that have nothing to do with the food truck or the Uber driver.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Not only are they zeroing in on the movements of Ethan and Xana, which there are gaps of hours leading up to the murders, we also are getting a little light shed on the claim that Kelly Gonsalves was the intended victim. Take a listen to Kana Whitworth.
Police also addressing information about the victim's manner of death after Kaylee's father said he learned his daughter's wounds were much more severe than her friends, fearing Kaylee was the target.
Please don't be my child that's the target.
Police telling ABC News they have not provided the family with that information.
Authorities also telling me they're not attempting to refute what the family is saying. Ultimately, they want to protect the integrity of this investigation. But as time marches on, Steve tells us he's been approached by a private investigator to help solve this case.
Okay, I'm trying to decipher what the Moscow police are saying. They're not refuting what Steve Gonsalves is saying, that his daughter's injuries were much more brutal and severe than the others, indicating she could have been the target. They're not refuting it, but they're also saying, we didn't say that. So what are they saying, David Leroy?
Well, we've had a lot of trouble with this whole word targeting right from the outset.
Yeah.
Originally, it was used to try to calm the public, to suggest that this was a sufficiently targeted homicide for people involved, that the rest of the public generally in Moscow and on the campus should not be concerned. Then we got into trouble with, for instance, a prosecutor saying that it appeared one person was specifically targeted. Then we backed off from that, saying, well, we're not sure that either the residents or any person was targeted. So we've used targeted, the word, in a couple of different ways, to try to generally calm the public, and then to try to characterize specific evidence as to either a location or a person. I'm not sure that the word targeting has any use for us anymore. The specifics of who did what to whom and who received what is important. And apparently the police are not willing to say, as the dad did, that the wounds on one specific person were more significant to the point of being valid evidence as to who a target was inside the house. I think it's just the police being careful not to compromise the investigation.
What do you think, Cheryl?
I mean, again, Nancy, I think it's really important that we understand what they're trying to connect. They're not just trying to connect these victims with somebody. Now honestly, they're having to look at the dog. Why does the dog have no evidence? Why was the dog left alive?
Interesting that you brought up the dog. Take a listen to ABC.
Xana and Ethan stabbed to death less than a block away at Xana's home, along with Kaylee Gonsalves and Madison Mogan, who were found on the top floor. 2 roommates survived, along with Kaylee's dog, seen in this TikTok video. Authorities now say the dog was found inside the home, but in a separate room from the victims.
How important is the behavior of the dog in your investigation?
We don't believe that there was any appearance of forced entry into the home. And as well, at this time, we have not determined if the dog was inside the residence during the murders or not. What we do know is that the dog was inside when officers arrived. The dog did not appear to have any evidence on it.
Okay, what, if anything, can you conclude from that, Cheryl?
Well, again, the dog had no blood, so the dog was not in the bedroom near its owner. The dog did not sympathize with the owner after death. That's very unusual. So it says to me that that dog that loved and cared about her was nowhere near her, maybe put in another room with the door closed, or put outside the bedroom door and that door was also closed. To me, it's key that the dog was left alive. That tells you about the psyche of the killer. And again, you've got this animal that can't speak to you, but in certain ways certainly can.
Are you suggesting that the killer may have put the dog away in a different room?
I'm flat out saying that. Yes, absolutely.
It reminds me of the case of Molly Tibbetts, who went jogging, and a big factor in the reasoning, the rationale of police about what happened that night was how she left her boyfriend's dog back at the residence. Just thinking through what we're talking about, let me circle back to the car.
But Nancy, you remember Nicole Brown? Her dog was frantic. Her dog had blood all over him because he was going back and forth between her.
Akita very, very well. And in that case, police at some point started their timeline based on when neighbors heard the dog howling. In the car, there are entire units within metropolitan police stations that are devoted to finding stolen cars. Cars are very unique. The tail lights, the front end, the slope of the rear or the engine cover changes every 1 to 2 to 3 years. One of the ways that cops can determine the year, the make, year, model of a vehicle. To anyone on the panel that is familiar with that, jump in as to how they can identify this is a 2011 to 2013 Hyundai Elantra. What about it, Gilliam? I mean, this is really not just an art, but a science among police departments.
Right. Well, this is, actually, to be honest with you, this is probably one of the lesser technically advanced and kind of that old gumshoe police officer type of technique, where the only difference is we have more cameras out there. You can get a fuzzy picture of a car, and usually the automotive divisions where they do automotive crimes, that's in the bigger cities. But people who know vehicles very well can look at these different pictures, and as you said, every couple of years they change something, and if they can just pick up on some of those aspects of the car, it's pretty much a comparative type of investigating and a knowledge base. And this is the other thing when it comes to any evidence collection or going through the evidence, you have to have people who are experienced in this. And so when you're looking at these types of vehicles, they must have a picture somewhere of a vehicle that they're queuing in on this year. Otherwise, either that or somebody has said that they know somebody who has this year of a vehicle, of that type of vehicle. So it's probably
there's another issue on the vehicle to Karen Stark. I recently had a case where a car approached a crime scene at night. The witness was at least 30, 40 feet away. She could not see the make of the car. What she did see were the taillights. It was dark. And she said that they looked like 2 exclamation points on either side of the car. What it turned out to be, as I recall, was a Cherokee. And in the Cherokees of that year, there were lights going down the side of the car, either side, and then at the bottom near the tailpipe. So in her mind, it looked like 2 exclamation points. Now, if you've stolen a car and you're using it for a crime, that's one thing. But there's something about the human psyche. They don't want to get rid of their own car. And if this Elantra belonged to a material witness or the perp, they may not want to get rid of it.
I think it's because people feel comfortable in their own car. Do you know what I mean? Like some people, me, when they're in their car, they feel like nobody can see them. You know what I mean? Like you just feel like you're in your own little box in your own world. I do it all the time. I'll be jamming out. I'm dancing. I'm singing. It's like a whole show. It's a whole show. If you ever want to see it, just let me know. I'll record it. I'll videotape it for you guys. But literally, I feel like I'm like in my own world. So I think that's kind of like why he used what, plus what, whose car is he going to use? He don't have any friends. He can't rent a car. Shoot. What are you going to do? Plus it's in the cover of night. Why not drive your own car? Bright white car.
So that it's a decade-old vehicle between 2011 2013. It sounds to me like it would be the kind of car that a college student would take to campus.
And what about that psyche I was asking you about, Karen Stark, of not wanting to get rid of your own car?
Well, because you're attached to your car, Nancy, and particularly if you think that there's a possibility it's a college student, you wait such a long time to have a car. And if it's somebody impulsive, as we've been talking about, they're not even going to think out the fact that this car is something that they should get rid of because they're so intent on keeping their car and having their identity tied to the car. So that's a really interesting point. And also the fact that there's a possibility that they're talking about people in the car, not person in the car. So what does that mean? Were there two people that they're talking about? More? What is it that the police are looking for?
Guys, the tip line is 208-883-7180. Repeat, 208-883-7180. We wait as justice unfolds. Nancy Grace signing off. Goodbye, friend.
Goodbye, friend. I had to repeat that because I was on mute. I was reading the chat. I had something to say now. I can't remember. I was going to go over Twitter to see what was going on over there. So is it okay? So when the documents came out today, or I think it was yesterday, maybe. Is everyone freaking out because they won't be able to see the witnesses testify? Like, Dylan, Bethany, trying to think. Just certain people in the case, they won't be able to testify. Is that why people are freaking out? Because that's every trial, pretty much. That we've covered on this channel anyway. We've never seen the witnesses. Like some of the witnesses, you can't see them. Now you'll be able to hear them most likely, but you just don't see them. So it's not like you're not gonna hear it. We just won't be able to see that. So don't worry if that's what it is. Don't fret. It's okay. I mean, we'll be able to hear it. I'm sure we'll be able to hear their testimony. I don't see them keeping that away. I just don't. Oh yeah, so Wizard, we actually went over the documents today because they came out yesterday, but and we didn't go over them last night, but we covered Casey Anthony instead. But the documents pretty much actually, let me see. Well, the first one was pretty funny, actually. So they pretty much ordered that there is not going to be any live streaming, like no live tweeting and all that stuff from inside the court. They are going to, it seems to me like they're going to have like a fixed camera in there somewhere. They don't want cameras like on Brian Koberger at any point in time. So they have their own cameras. I've seen it where they've had it on the defendant the whole time, like Letitia Stout, but then again, they don't want the camera on him. So I don't know where they're going to pan it. We might be looking at a wall whenever there's a witness on the stand they don't want us to see, they may do something like that. Maybe just the judge, looking at the judge. Yeah, so the Murdaugh, and I didn't watch the Adelson trial, but the Murdaugh trial, we saw everything. I loved that trial. Like, chef's kiss on that one because, that was an easy trial to cover. We covered that one as well. Oh yeah, they always use their own car, Steve. They always do. I mean, I don't know. I've always seen criminals take their own car. I think it's because they're so comfortable. That's what you're going to still go to your comfort spot, just like he took his damn cell phone with him. He might have needed it for GPS on the way home. The dude hadn't lived out there that long. I mean, I don't know. That trial was very open, Robin. And Nancy was there. Do you remember her going to the Murdaugh trial, like third day in? We were streaming it and there was like nobody really in the gallery. And I'm like, this is the Murdaugh trial. What's going on? And so like the first week, I think it was like maybe the first week wasn't really a whole lot. But then Nancy shows up and she just stares at the back of Alec Murdaugh's head. Like if looks could kill, he had been dead. She was like, the whole time she was listening. She had her listening ears on. I think that's most are worried about. Unfair that the judge can shut it down whenever he wants. The judge could anyway. Just stop everything and order cameras off and camera operators out. That's true. I mean, he could, but I don't see. I see him being pretty fair. He's been pretty fair so far. I don't see him cutting the cameras unless someone does something wild. Steven Zalvez jumps the little partition they have there. But I don't think that they'll do that. I think that if it's now personally, maybe if it's Bethany or Dylan and they're testifying, they probably won't show them. Just out of like respect because they're considered the victims too. So I think that maybe they would pan to like the judge, just show him for those testimonies. We will still hear what they're saying. We just won't see them. So I think that, Yeah, unless it becomes a circus. Exactly. Like he seems pretty cool to me. He seems like he's fair. He likes to kind of like joke around, you know, with the guy, like the lawyers. He really tries to be fair. I think so. That's true. Brian Laundrie didn't, but it was like his vehicle because it was like his home. You know what I mean? Like he pretty much killed her, or I mean, like outside of their home, but you know. I don't know, Susie. I don't think they will. I don't think someone will sneak anything in. They've been pretty respectful. I feel like, I mean, I don't even think that the camera people, they're going to pan it on Brian Kohlberger. They can't help themselves. He's the freaking defendant. Everyone wants to see him. They said that there was lack of blood in the car, apartment, and his office. But attorneys will use certain language to make it, you know, sound better for them. The defense is going to make it sound better. They said lack thereof. To me, that sounds like there could be some. There's just not a lot. There's lack of blood. I don't know. Like if there was 0%, there was zero blood, I would be like, there is zero amount. Traces, zero traces. We did a whole video on the DD driver. It's not Brian. 72% of you guys said that it wasn't. And this was back when it was hot that he was. This was like 7 or 8 months ago. I've got the sticky note. It's in the closet because I have my boards in there from when they were hanging on my wall. And I still have that poll. I wrote that poll number down because I was like, I'm going to write this down just in case it ever came back up. And I definitely think that he drove there. He drove there 16 minutes. I don't know why people keep saying 8 minutes, 9 minutes, 16 minutes. That's a long time. Just sit there for 16 minutes. I mean, it would be hard to just sit for 16 minutes. Should we do it? Silence 16 minutes? I'm just kidding. I wouldn't do that to you guys. Exactly, Jetta from Texas. Well, I mean, they found the receipt for the coveralls. He had a receipt for, you know, for Dickies, a Dickies tag. I'm so sorry. A Dickies tag and a receipt from, I think Walmart. I'm sorry. Sorry about that. Ashley said, honestly, I don't think I want to watch them testify. Me, I don't want to see it really myself. That's extremely sad, you know? Like, yeah. I mean, I personally don't need to see it. And Kelly D said, well said, lack of, not zero. The defense didn't have the results, so Synax were used to deceive the public. Exactly. Yeah, they were. They definitely were. I've been saying that like I've been screaming the lack thereof. I'm like, they said lack thereof. Because everyone will be like, there's no blood. I wonder, do you guys remember that person I had on panel that one time and me and her were arguing about something like that? I forget her name. She was fun. She was fun. Yeah, seeing the hurt and pain. They have to relive that, and they're gonna have to see some things that they don't want to see, you know. Cat's Life, I made it. You made it at the end of the live, Cat's Life. It's 12:03. I can't believe it's so late. I walked out to grab a drink earlier, and Vincent's sleeping like a baby. Sleeping so good. But I think that everything in the apartment, I think everything in our house is finally like in its spot. Like it's not in its home yet, but it's in the way to get it to his home. It's all in like totes or like stuff stowaways that we could stow under the bed. I mean, you know, your girl's going to be back at it because I'm trying to get our lives back down to, you know, 8:15. It's just been hard because Vincent doesn't get home till 5:35. And then I'm like, oh, let me have him do this and help me with this. So we're going to put the sign up back up soon. It's just kind of like, you know, on our to-do list, but he has to drill like a hole through the wall. And then he has to do something upstairs, like in the attic. It's a big deal. So probably this weekend, maybe he'll do that. Maybe he will do that this weekend for me. And then the 20th, we get the rest of our stuff and then we'll be all set. So hopefully by the 20th, we'll be back to around 8:15. Oh, Otto, I'm going to show you guys all of it. When we're done, I'm going to show you the whole place. I feel like we don't have one room done completely. Like we have this bathroom is done. It just needs to be painted. like, just touched up. Because then when they came in and they put in new fixtures, like they painted this weird color. And then just basically just little things here and there. I'm going to show you guys all of it because I'm so excited about it. And you're all my friends. I want to show my friends. So Cardi, oh. I know, Ashley, I really was. I was like, I wanted to get on at like 9:15 or 9:35. And then I went to Target. Of course I did. Of course I did, guys. Of course. I went to Target. And I just had to grab a few things. And I did. I just grabbed a few things. But I like Target. So I know where all the clearance stuff is. It's like on the back end of the aisles. So I was just cruising and I didn't realize what time it was. I like looked at my phone. I was like, when I got home, I was like, I felt like I was only gone like 20 minutes. I was like, where did the time go? So let me tell you guys a little story before I get off of here, since you guys are all my friends. Today, my tooth up here, the one that I was like terrified that they were going to like have to pull, it broke off completely. Completely broke today. I don't know what's going on. I feel like I'm in a bad movie sometimes. So now I have to go to the emergency dentist within the next couple of days to have them remove it, because it's just, I know they can't do anything about it. So now I have to figure out how to get a permanent there. It's just like, oh my gosh, it's Otto. It doesn't actually hurt. That's the thing. Well, and this is the thing. I take such good care of my mouth and my teeth. I am so clean. It's to a fault. Like, it's bad, guys, and so I cracked my tooth on the back like 2 weeks ago. I went to my appointment and we didn't fix it. We were like, she's like, we'll fix it next appointment, blah, blah, blah. Well, it was cracked. And then it was cracked like in the middle too, like, your tooth, it was cracked in the back and then down in the middle. So I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to break. So I wasn't eating at all. If I was eating, it was all on this side. I mean, I was like freaking out. And I brushed my teeth today. That's all I did, was brush my teeth. And then I started cleaning and I felt with my tongue, because I've been feeling that spot for so long because it's been, cracked. And my whole tooth, literally, I don't even know where it's at. I can't even give it to the damn tooth fairy to get some money. It's very uncomfortable, Otto, because there's a point to it. Like, it's pointed, it's just sharp. And I'm just like, I mean, I don't know. I think it's the medications that I'm on, but just, I don't know why they can't just switch them or do something about it. Like, I think that I need more fluids is what it is. I'm dehydrated, like so dehydrated from my medications. And then this is bad, but I drink soda. I know I shouldn't, but I do. That's like the only bad thing I do. I don't smoke. I don't drink. I just like soda sometimes. But I drink water and stuff too. It's just, and I think that it's just sticking to that. And then like my teeth, I don't know. I've never had problems with my teeth until I had the metal. I do, Otto. I need lots. Well, I think I'm going to do one of those IV fusions. Like, when do we get paid? We get paid on the 21st. So I'm waiting until we get paid. But you can go to this place and get like these IV like infusions. And I've been dying to do this. I've been dying for my doctor to give these to me. But they'll like hydrate you. If I could get like just hydrated again, I think I can like stick with it. But it's like just getting back to that point. Oh my gosh, Kelly D, that's me too. I grind my teeth, and I think that's what I was doing, was grinding my teeth. Then I woke up, didn't realize it was loose, and it just came out. They're supposed to fit me for a mouth guard. He's like, Cardi B, I don't cook, I don't clean. I know. I do liquid IV. I know. My tongue keeps going over it. I don't know. What's a banana bag infusion? I want to write that down, because you guys know what you're talking about. If I bring something to you guys always know what you're talking about. I've never heard of it, but I need it. If you say so. You say so. I have to look that up. Yeah. So when I have surgeries, like, I don't know if you guys ever have a surgery, but they give you saline like before your surgery. And when they put it into the IV, it just makes your whole body feel cool. It's the best feeling in the world. It's the best. Dental care is healthcare. I don't know why. I just don't know why the dental care is so expensive and so it's always cosmetic. Cosmetic. No, you need your teeth. Coconut water is really? I'll write that down. I'll drink some coconut water. I'll just chug it. I'm not a big coconut fan. See, Doodlebug, my mouth is always so dry. You can switch to Olipop instead of oh yeah, it's delicious. Also, make sure to have drinks with electrolytes in them, like coconut water and also calcium and vitamin D to absorb the calcium. Thank you, Gvina. I just never had this problem before. And then, so the only thing I'm worried about is this tooth down here. I have to get a root canal on it. And they said they're doing the root canal, but if there's a crack in the tooth, which I don't know if there is, they don't know if there is, but if there's a crack in it after they start to do the root canal, they will have to stop doing the root canal and then just extract the tooth. That's like one I don't want to lose. So I would get a permanent there, but if that was the case, I wouldn't be on camera for like a few days probably. Actually, I probably would be on it in a couple of days because it's you guys and I don't know. You guys are my fam. I know getting older, I don't like it. And Ladybug says, sounds like me, Tanya, soda freak. I just love my soda. And it's so bad. But that's all, I mean, like literally, I don't drink, I don't smoke. Come on now. Give me a break. Let me just have my soda. And my candy. I'm a candy person too. That's the worst thing. Shit. But today I was like, you know what? I was like, I'm going to eat some gummy bears. I was so mad. Implants are not, Kelly, they're not. They're expensive. They're like $6,000, I think. Yeah. Break that news to Vincent. Yeah, he was like, what happened? I showed him and he was like, oh, whoa. And I'm like, yeah, this is the second time this has happened. The banana IV. So is this something you get in stores, banana IV? Because I've done the liquid IV before. Susie says, my first life, but I've heard a lot of your story and we have so many similarities. And my late husband was a doctor and I got sick and I've also learned so much trying to heal myself. Happy to help. I'm so sorry about your husband. Really, Susie? Well, I'm going to the student clinic, so I think that they are going to charge me less. But yeah, it's kind of hurting, like hitting my cheek. But yeah. Oh. Well, I needed that. I'll have I'll go to the IV infusion place. How much? I wonder how much that is. It doesn't matter. Vincent will help me. He'll help me out. Yeah, please come back, Susie. Don't judge us on this. We always talk at the end about our troubles and our crazy lives. But you know, I literally like I'm positive about stuff. I don't know where it comes from. I really don't. Like I didn't cry today when it happened. Like I thought I would. I almost cried when Vincent got home and I started talking about it, but I didn't. I like was just like, it happened. Okay, we'll have to remove it and get an implant. You know what I mean? Like we'll go through the process. Now, if it was one of my front teeth, probably wouldn't be singing that tune, but it's not. But it is. I hope so. I hope we get some justice, Steve. We do when we help each other out. We do, Doodlebug. You guys are always helping me out. Remember when my tooth was hurting so bad, and you guys told me the clove oil? Oh, that stuff works like a charm. But there's no pain there, which is it's good for me. I mean, other than like the pointy part. Oh, you become low income, and there's lots of dentists that volunteer. Oh, I know all about low income. My mom was low income and considered low income. Hangers are mostly dehydration. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Wow, Otto. See, I wanted veneers my whole life. I don't know why I did. Like, but then before my car accident, I had no dental problems, nothing at all. And then after, it was like a whole new world. Everything was wrong, and then it was so hard to find a dentist that took my insurance, and it's just been a crazy thing. So I'm just glad that it's let's just get it over with, let's just start pulling and putting in the fakes. I just want to eat. I just want to eat again. If you guys have ever lost a tooth, like, things are different in your mouth when you lose one tooth. The texture of food can be different. The taste, just everything can be different. And it's different for me. I don't even like to eat. Like, I just don't even like it. Wow, $300 for cleaning. I need to actually take my blood pressure. I just thought of that. It was high earlier. It wasn't high. It was medium. I have it wrote down somewhere. It's in the drawer off there. It was like, I can't remember exactly, but it wasn't too bad. I mean, it was in the orange. It goes green, orange, red. Oh, Ashley. Good night, wizard. I'm getting ready to get off here too. I think Vincent might have got up. I was like, did I hear him? Or maybe it was him falling off the bed. Well, when we actually move, our bed is going to be like way over. So if he falls, I won't hear nothing. But I'm going to let you guys go. I'm going to go rest my mouth. But I did text my dental student today, and I told her about what happened. She didn't text me back yet, so I'm hoping she will tomorrow. If not, I'm just going to go to the emergency dental place. But I am going to go drink some water. And so Monday, my thing was, Tanya, you're going to get up. You're going to start drinking your liquid IV. And you're going to go start working out in the morning, because I haven't been doing that. So I think I'm going to go to that fusion place. I'm going to look it up, because we have one like literally right down the road. Really, Pam? Maybe I'll be going to Canada. Whoever wants to fix this mess. I mean, Ohio State, like, I'm not a baby, but when you get a tooth pulled, normally they send you home with like some Tylenol 3s or a couple Vicodin, like 8 of them, you just get like a handful, because that's all you need just for a few days, because you are extremely sore for like 2 weeks. They don't give you nothing there. They don't even give you like an antibiotic. They're just like, they pull it, you're go home. I'm like, I don't like that. Really, Stephanie? I know, it's crazy. We all need to remind each other to do things. Hey, I reminded Cheryl to start taking her blood pressure. She's like, oh, I need to take my blood pressure. I was like, well, see, we're helping each other. We're helping each other. My hair feels really, really soft today. I let it air dry. But I'm going to jump off of here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the live. But if not, you go to the ER, Tanya, they'll probably give you 20 pain pills. They probably would. They're probably like, here you go. But I've been through a lot. Something happened yesterday too that was like, what? I can't remember what it was, but I'm just like, all the time. Really? I think the ER, I don't know how many they give you in the ER, but I don't know. I haven't been to the ER in so long. I used to literally, I've read my own x-rays before. They were like, was that crack there before? Because there were so many breaks. We're trying to see which one was new. It was crazy. I was like, why am I reading my own damn x-ray? I've never seen this before, ever. This ain't General Hospital. But, that's how it goes. But thank you guys for being here. I'll let you know. I'll keep you guys updated on my tooth problem, That's what I do here. I keep you guys updated on all of my health issues. I swear, I'm not that unhealthy. I just sometimes have just like things just happen, Shoot, that just happens to me. With all the metal, I mean, could be worse. But I hope you guys all have a great evening. Ashley, I hope you get some good sleep tonight. Hopefully you got some good sleep last night. If you guys would like to join our channel membership, we do member only lives, all of the good fun stuff we do over there. You get members or you get special like emojis, all that cool stuff. I'll drop the link in the chat if anyone wants to join. And if not, I will see you guys all tomorrow. I'll try to be on a little bit earlier, but we'll see how it goes. But I love you guys, and I'll see you guys all tomorrow. Have a great evening. Bye, guys.